What's up? This is Naked Eli, the mostly unclothed gamer, bringing you my world record speedrun of Halo, the final mission in Halo 3 on Legendary, with 0 shots fired, clocking in at a little over 13 minutes. This broke the old world record by 1 to 2 minutes because this mission had already been highly optimized, and I just looked at the run and said, where can I cut corners here, here, and here, and I put those into the mission, those new strategies and techniques. So you're going to see me hammer jumping up the spine, skipping basically this entire flood section up here. I have a sweet jump right here in 3, 2, 1. Oh, I mistimed it. Let's try that again. 3, 2, 1. And we're gonna get the hammer right here off of the first flood form, as he's gonna waltz on right by me, and thank you, little buddy, for that. Because this is 0 shots fired, I'm allowed to use melee weapons, I'm allowed to use grenades, basically anything except for shooting myself. No bullets coming out of Master Chief's hands. Right here we got a threat, a little brute shot that would possibly, potentially, almost maybe kill me as I'm trying to launch here. So I had to scare him away. Now we're going to move up here to the spine with that first little hammer jump. You could also use a frag if you wanted, but I'm going to save it. And then you're going to launch up here with that beautiful little hammer jump to the top of the spine. We're just going to waltz our way all the way up to the top floor, where unfortunately you don't skip the loading zone and all the enemies are gone, and you can just move on into 343 Guilty Spark and kill that little guy. But instead we're gonna have to fight all the flood coming up the tower right here, right now. What I'm doing right there is moving the rockets into a position where they won't despawn, because those rockets will stay there the entire fight, and I want to swap that out with a brute shot later to optimize and use a glitch by 343, and I'll show you that when we get to it. This run is it's pretty short, because compared to all the other runs, you know, it's in like the 5 to 15 minute range. After this we have Sierra 117, Crow's Nest, the Ark, and the Covenant, which are all incredibly difficult, very lengthy runs, clocking in around 25 to 35 minutes. So those are going to be a huge step up. We're going to see who the hardcore fans are, continuing to watch the series. These missions, sorry, excuse me, got a little bump in my throat. These missions that I've shown you up until this point were pretty short, right? And they had all been done by other people. Because they're so short, they were easily done with 0 shots fired, although at different lengths, right? I managed to get the world record on all of them except for Floodgate, but these are relatively quick missions and therefore easier than the really long missions, which no one had ever done before I stepped up to the plate and was like, alright, I think I can do this, I think I can, and spent weeks and weeks and weeks trying to hash those out. So that's why they're so long, and you'll see some crazy techniques and things that no one had ever seen in a Halo game before in those runs. So I'm really excited to bring you guys that new content. Now, if I could explain right here what's going on at the top of this spire with this huge flood fight, I'm trying to prioritize any immediate threats. So right here, this fuel rod almost completely destroying me. Gonna stick him with a spike grenade. This area right here that I'm looking is where most of the enemies are jumping up. So that's why I'm sitting here waiting to melee. Like, that guy with the shotgun could one-hit you from across the map. So it's really important to take him out as soon as he pops up. You also saw me sitting there with the hammer, just meleeing groups of enemies as they were coming up. Don't want to get too close to these guys, although I waited for him to shoot. I don't know if you saw that, and then I moved forward so that he couldn't kill me. And we also have the Arbiter taking some people out, and Johnson with his laser across on the bridge taking things out on that side, on the far side. So that's why I'm focusing over here, taking out as many people as I can, while Johnson is cleaning up on this side, as well as the Arbiter doing some work in the middle. So now that we have this section complete, the checkpoint done, signifies that there will be no more flood. We're going to move over and get these rockets to this side, because we're going to turn a left corner, so that's going to save us a few seconds moving forward on this part of the mission. Now, the whole reason that I'm doing this is so that I can have a brute shot for the rest of the mission after the 343 Guilty Spark, a little active cutscene, which I guess I'll explain right now. This cutscene, it's called an active cutscene in the speedrunning community for 0 shot runs, simply to act as an exception for the 0 shot rule. In other games, You have bosses that you could get through by meleeing them or by glitching around them. In this game, we found that there was not a single way that you could pass Guilty Spark without using your Spartan laser. So you got to charge up the laser to kill him, and that was painful for zero-shot speedrunners. We're like, hey, we want to be able to do the whole game on zero-shot. What about this? So they made an exception that this is more of just consider it like a cutscene that you're playing through. You know, they want to give you the satisfaction of killing Guilty Spark. It's not like he's a really hard boss or anything, as you'll see right here. I'm going to pop a bubble shield, and not even his little laser can go through this thing. I was having a conversation, actually, this is a tangent, with someone about the realism in video games, and Halo specifically, and they're like, oh yeah, because the bubble shield is so realistic, right? Like, you pop it and nothing can go through it, no bullets, grenades, anything, but Master Chief can just walk right into it. And so I was like, okay, fine, you win, you win. The bubble shield makes absolutely no sense ever in any context. It really doesn't. Not even the high projectile speed argument, because like, where's that barrier? And what if you just like tap and gently throw a grenade into there? You know, it still wouldn't go through. So look at this. This is going to be the easiest boss fight ever. We're going to stand here, and I'm literally just going to jump when he starts shooting his little laser at me. Jump, jump, jump. Don't even have to move. And 3 shots is all she wrote. So bye-bye, 343 Guilty Spark. You are a jerk. Although he might not be dead, for those of you who have... I don't even know if I can say that. Okay, forget I said anything. Just going to leave it at that. So right after this cutscene, a lot of black. Black, 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 black. Okay, so the way the world ends. We're going to move over here, pick up the brute shot, and we're going to move on forward and use this to take out, I think there's 4 guys with plasma rifles here. Some of them have shields, some of them don't. The ones without shield will go down in 1 hit. The one with shield will go down in 2 hits. Now, I've tried just charging straight on through and being, you know, macho man mode and trying to melee them all, but they shred you to pieces, especially when your shield's low from the infection forms. So the brute shot's going to allow me to easily dispatch the first 2 and then destroy that 3rd guy with the shield in that little encounter. That's the whole reason that I transported it, and why it was so important that I leave the rocket launcher at the door. Because otherwise, I would have, I think, an assault rifle, and that weapon has very poor melee skills. It would take me a couple hits for each of those guys. In that time period, they would be lighting me up with all their plasma rifles, and it made it a lot harder to survive. I was more reliant on the Arbiter, so I like that little trick of getting the brute shot in. That's also going to allow me to pummel my way through any enemies that I need to at this point in the game. So right here you see me waiting for the Arbiter. We have these 2 sentinels moving through that I can't kill. I simply do not have the capacity without shooting, and he has plasma rifles, which is their weakness. It's super effective, and so I'm just going to let him move forward. Now here you see him getting pissed off, going man mode with the sword, and he can actually kill you, I'm pretty sure, if you're in front of him when he swings. So try not to do that. Right here, they're all targeting him, so that's going to allow me to move on to the right, and I know he's in man mode because he's pissed off, so he's just going to charge right in, take them out, allowing me to move forward and dodge all those guys with the spikers. There's also a technique that I don't think I utilize it in any of my speedruns, but I have done it in-game where you can give the Arbiter infinite ammo for any weapon, right? He's an NPC just like the other NPCs in the game. If you give him a weapon, he has unlimited ammo and shoots it like crazy, and that can be really helpful to you in your mission. However, he's not like other NPCs like Marines where you can just trade with him, right? You can't go up to the Arbiter and say, take this brute shot, take this rocket launcher. So what you have to do is you have to find a safe place, you have to kill him yourself, which means take his shields off and then shoot him in the head with like a carbine or a battle rifle shot, and then quickly swap out the weapon that's on the ground closest to him, whether it's his plasma rifle or his sword, and he will respawn with that weapon that you drop next to him. So that's how you get an Arbiter with rockets or an Arbiter with fuel rod, which, because he's a more powerful NPC, is really, really good to use. So just a little tip for those of you out there maybe struggling on some of the sections on Legendary. Think about that, and that might help you out. Now we're moving on to the final section of Halo, the final mission in Halo 3. This is the big old Warthog run, reminiscent of the Halo 1 Warthog run. Gonna take this sweet little jump here, bam, says the lady. and that's going to cause a deload of all of these enemies past these little infection forms. So we don't have to worry about some of the carrier forms knocking us over, at least not yet. We're just going to be chilling, moving forward in this part of the mission with the little jumps, and I'm taking a very, very specific route. So to those of you at home, you're probably watching this like, oh cool, it's just Eli driving his Warthog. However, this route is predetermined. Every single movement that I make was planned out so that I don't get blindsided by something exploding, or an enemy shooting me and knocking me over, or taking a route that's going to cause me to die, or taking a slow route that takes me a long time to get around, right? This is not a randomized ending. Every single explosion and enemy placement is predetermined. So I really like that because that gives me multiple options every time I come through the mission. And right here we got a money shot. I love that jump. And then we're going to keep moving forward. Right here, this is where I think the floods start to reappear. So we got to dodge these flood forms. Gonna get hit by a brute shot into a carrier. So I'm like, okay, I survived. Everything's gonna be fine. And then I see, oh, okay, a lot of carriers. Oh my lord, another carrier around the corner is gonna actually launch me out of the Warthog. And now I'm concerned because that's 2 explosions messing up my run. I need to go before this platform drops. And finally, we're gonna make it through just as it does. And then I'm going to continue along in a direct path to the next section while still avoiding all of the explosions and avoiding the sentinels. So you see in the distance right there, sentinels on my left. So I want to do whatever I can to avoid those. Going to take a right, and then luckily the arbiter is on your gunner seat, right? He just magically appears as an invisible dude. So he's going to help a lot with small groups of sentinels. But when it comes to large groups like this, he's not going to have enough time to actually kill them. So you need to be really sure that you are not in the air when you're targeting sentinels, because they will light you up and flip you a bajillion times and you'll be dead. Now right here is one of the hardest jumps, I'd say the hardest jump in the entire mission, and I'm going to land it beautifully. And I'm so happy because like you go through the entire mission, you kill all the flood, you kill Guilty Spark, you run through, you make it past the section with all the flood forms that you just book it, and it's like a 50-50 chance if you survive or not. And then it comes down to that jump. If you screw up that jump, then you have to go all the way around that circle. You have to fight through flood forms. Everything is still spawned up in this section. And I was so happy that I made it because I was having a great run. And I wasn't a perfect jumper on that part. For me, it was like a 70% chance that I would hit it, and like a 30% chance that I would just completely blow it and have to restart the mission if I wanted to get the time that I was targeting, which was the world record. So no big deal. So I mean, if you like speedruns, I hope that you're enjoying this so far. I hope that this isn't like the Long Night of Solace space part of the mission where you're like, oh, boring, no one wants to watch this, like we've seen this all a million times, like there's no strategy here, you just shoot things. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna skip because I have no idea what I'm saying or what I'm trying to say. Just hoping you guys are enjoying the mission so far. This is the last short mission in the Zero Shot series before we move on to the crazy long missions where we see who the true hardcore fans are, sticking it out with me, watching these runs. And then after I upload all the speedruns with commentary, I'm gonna upload them in order without commentary and without modifications, so you guys can see. And by modification, I mean like in the really long missions, there's some sections that are just way too long, and there's some wait time, and so I'm going to shorten those for the commentaries. But when I upload the final version, I'm just going to leave it as is unedited, so you can just see front to back from Sierra 117 all the way to this mission, the full game in less than 3 hours with 0 shots fired. So here we're going to the very end. Bada bing, bada boom. That's Halo. A little over 13 minutes, clocking in 13:07. Legendary 0 shots fired. Hope you guys enjoyed the run. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Share it with your buddies if you really liked it. And next on our list is Sierra 117, that beast of a mission. Check out personal ordnance tips on the right if you're interested. This is Naked Eli. Subscribe for more, and thank you so much for watching.